Two Great Geeks.
Changing the world, one post at a time.
Hello everyone, my name is Louis Matos, I'm the Mustache, here to do Campy number 5, as always with my best buddy,
Junior Figueroa, a.k.a. The Beard, coming to you live from sunny Puerto Rico. And it is sunny today. It is a nice, sunny, mild day. For all of those of you that are suffering through snow and cold and wet and everything, I feel for you. I really do. I feel for you. Yes, I do. I feel for you.
All right. Reading, watching, writing. Those are our 3 favorite verbs. And we're here.
Not sleeping. You can notice how the sleeping is never included in that.
We like watching movies and
TV
shows. We read books and comic books.
And
we like writing.
And we like writing about it.
Yeah.
And we like sharing it. We should put sharing in there too.
Yeah, okay.
We really enjoy sharing what you don't. You enjoy?
Yes. These videos. Yeah.
I really enjoy sharing with all you our wonderful followers. I love you.
All right, so this is our Campy number 5, which is our classic video library. Campy stands for...
Yeah, tell them, please.
Classic Archived Motion Picture Yearbook.
Okay.
And we're doing this for the 5th time, so we will have our next 3 entries.
Classic.
Yes. So first, let's talk about the criteria for the videos. Criteria
1.
Number 1 is you and I both have to agree on these movies.
Right.
All right.
So when we present the movie to you to be included in our archives, a classic movie, it is because both of us have watched it and have agreed. And it's not because one has said yes and the other has said no. No. If one of us didn't like it for whatever reason, it don't make the cut.
Other part of our criteria is that the movie has to be classic, according to our definition
of classic.
And so how do we define classic?
Well, first off is longevity. And this, and you know what is this? We just did,
I know.
We just did 2021.
Yes.
So now our longevity cutoff would be 1971, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Right. So now all those 1971 movies are not that we had any. Not that we had any.
Are eligible, yeah.
Yeah, not that we had any that were waiting in the wings, but now it is cutoff is 1971. Has to be 1971 or older. Right?
Yeah, so it must be great for an extended period of time.
Right.
50 years is just our arbitrary number.
But it's a good number.
Yeah, I think
it's
so
a good
too.
number. If you are talking about classic,
a movie has to be good for at least as long as I've been alive.
This is true.
All right, and exceptional.
And now it has to be exceptional. Okay, now exceptional does not necessarily mean that it is expensive or that it had a large budget, a large cast, and it's epic. Or those things can make a movie exceptional. But there are small movies, independent movies. There are little movies that are also exceptional. It just needs to be exceptional in some way. Some way it shines. It has to shine.
And subjective to us, right? Because I mean, we will argue why it's exceptional.
Right. Absolutely. And then the third one is
paradigm shift.
It has to have started something. It has to have impacted the movie industry in some way. It caused a ripple. Mm-hmm. Some kind of, it could be a wave or it could be a ripple, but in some way it caused a ripple within the industry itself.
And lastly, we will have genre classification, because this is a pet peeve of ours, that Hollywood does not classify movies
correctly,
or to our approval. So,
No.
so each movie will be categorized. Now, for this C.A.M.P.Y number 5, they're all secret agent movies.
Because we're having our secret agent month, codename Capricorn, and so that is the classification for this particular set of movies that we're putting into our archives.
Yeah, so I'm not trying to be pedantic or repetitive, but I am obsessive compulsive, so I'm going to just do it in the process like we've always done.
Absolutely. If it works, don't fix it.
All right, finally, after we've done all of that, we're going to do our ratings and recommendations like we always do.
We always do, right?
5 being near perfect, right? 5 is the highest grade.
The highest grade. 5 grade geeks.
4 is excellent.
Yes.
Right, and so most of these movies are going. All of these movies are going to fit between
5 and 4.
Yeah,
5, 4.5, 4.
3 is good in our typical rating system. 2 is
fair,
meh,
and 1 is. One is why did I go through that?
Yeah. So there are no 3, 2, and 1s in this video.
No, but it shouldn't be because it's we are saying it's
classic,
and we're archiving it.
Okay, so without too much more ado, did you hear that? What Beethoven's favorite fruit is?
No, what's his favorite fruit?
Banana. All right,
I love that.
That's the corny dad joke. All right. All right. So number 17 is North by Northwest, 1959.
Yay! Starring Cary Grant, Eva Marie Saint, James Mason, Martin Landau, Leo G. Carroll.
Yeah.
It has an all-star cast. Of course, they weren't all-stars at the time, but it does have an all-star cast.
All right, so it's an American spy thriller produced and directed by Alfred Hitchcock, who is in our Horror Hall of Fame.
Yeah, first one.
Yeah. All right, so you already talked about the cast. Ernest Lehman wrote the Hitchcock picture to end all Hitchcock pictures. So this is what he called it. And I could say almost.
Almost. Sure.
I mean, yeah.
I think it might be Hitchcock's best spy thriller. Maybe his best. I don't think it's necessarily his best picture overall.
Excuse me.
I have a soft spot for Psycho.
Yeah. So do I.
And I also have a soft spot for the birds. Yeah. So I wouldn't call it Hitchcock's best, but I would call it his best spy thriller.
Yeah. Excellent. North by Northwest is a tale of mistaken identity with an innocent man pursued across the United States by agents of an unknown organization trying to block him from blocking them from smuggling microfilm with government secrets. That's a mouthful. So classification, this is definitely a secret agent movie.
Right, this is a spy thriller.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Longevity. So moving on from that classification, longevity is 2021, take away 1959, that's 62 years.
Meets the cut.
Yeah, it meets the criteria. Exceptional.
Well, we did just say it is Hitchcock's finest spy thriller.
It's considered one of the best movies ever made. Instead, in those 100 best movies ever.
Best movies ever. Right.
So
Library of Congress. What's the other one?
The film library, the classic film library. That is.
Yeah.
So they always cite this movie, and it's number 17 on our list. So
that's right.
Obviously.
So obviously we agree with them.
All right, the trope of smart people doing dumb things. Yeah, it's like you know, you can see things as before they're even starting, and you're like, I don't think that's a smart thing to do. And yeah, oh my God. So yeah, it's funny in that respect. I mean, it's not funny, other than you're saying to yourself, oh my God, why are you doing that? All right, so yeah, so
and the thing is that it's not only the protagonist, right? When you stop and you think about it, the bad guy is supposed to be this master spy, and basically the movie is about his getting something wrong.
A major thing.
He gets a major thing wrong, and it leads to his end. So how smart is he actually?
So another exceptional thing is Hitchcock used Bernard Herrmann, which later on he uses for Psycho. Now, mind you, the music in this movie, it's flawless. It is used with great effect, which is amazing because Hitchcock hated paying money for a composer to be in his movies. He sometimes said, we don't need that. Why? Because in The Birds he likes silence.
See, I was just going to say that. Hitchcock is one. No, you're absolutely right. Hitchcock at times would prefer no music. Sometimes there's no sound, you know. So the fact, you're absolutely right. The fact that he uses music to such effect in this movie is a bit of a departure, and I guess in a way it's a stretch for Hitchcock, and it's nice to see.
Oh, absolutely.
It's nice to think that Hitchcock was stretching himself.
Although he did use some silence, so it's like, oh, look, there's no sound. No. So it's noticeable because most of the movie has music, and the music sets a tone.
Before you talked about the acting, one of the things that struck me, and I mentioned it when we were watching this movie, was the camera work, especially the angles.
Oh, yes.
This was, again, not a usual Hitchcock. He was experimenting with camera angles. He was showing us shots from
above.
From above, and looking down, from the side, it was not typical Hitchcock. It wasn't, but it was beautiful, and some of the sights. Oh, come on, Mount Rushmore.
That's where the paradigm.
Oh my God, Mount Rushmore never looked better. So I found exceptional.
Yep. The acting, of course, we have actors that become named people as a consequence of this movie. So all of them: Cary Grant, Eva Marie Saint, James Mason. You mentioned Martin Landau,
Leo G. Carroll.
Yeah, Leo G. Carroll is the professor.
The professor. That's it. And the thing is that we had seen him in We're No Angels, right? Where he plays
a dummy,
a ditz. And then we see him here. Oh my God! Then you see his range. You see his acting range, because we saw him do this comedic role, and here he is, the professor, and so cold. He is so cold. Love it.
All right, so paradigm shift.
Right.
Paradigm shift. This is the first movie to use kinetic typography. In other words, in the beginning, when they're doing the opening credits, the words are coming in and popping out and moving like this, and it's the first movie ever to do that. So that's a paradigm shift.
Which becomes so commonplace.
Yes, now.
After this, yeah. As a matter of fact, we saw Charade, and it did that.
Only the second VistaVision movie at MGM. So again, it's VistaVision. And the shots at Mount Rushmore, which you were talking about.
Oh my God!
Yeah. There's the iconic plane sequence. That everybody knows. If you have never watched this movie, you at least have seen that scene.
You know the crop duster scene.
And then at the end, there is a kiss. They're on a train. There's a kiss, there's an embrace, and then it shows the train going into the tunnel.
But this is Hitchcock.
I know, Hitchcock.
This is Hitchcock. Okay?
Hitchcock says that was him being at his most perverted.
Yes. And no, and he does things like that. Like in To Catch a Thief, where he's talking to Grace Kelly, and supposedly the camera's focusing on her pearl necklace. Boom! It's a cleavage, right? And they're in the hotel room, and it's night, and there's some kind of Mardi Gras that's going on outside, and he leans her back on the sofa to kiss her, and the camera goes outside, and there's fireworks! Boom, 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 boom! We know what they were doing.
Yeah. He's not subtle.
No, not subtle at all. There's also a paradigm shift in the sense that this movie was inspiration for other things. Mm-hmm. One of the inspirations for this movie was the TV show The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
That's right.
What differentiates The Man from U.N.C.L.E. from all the other secret agent shows was that in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. every episode there is an innocent person who gets dragged into this spy adventure, and that's straight out of Hitchcock. That is
the paradigm.
That is this movie, where Cary Grant gets dragged into this spy adventure.
A regular man, a regular dude, dragged in. And to show you the inspiration, the chief in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. was played by Leo G. Carroll. That's how much of an inspiration this movie was, that the professor from North by Northwest becomes the chief in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. The other show that this was an inspiration for was The Avengers, the British show The Avengers, Steed and Mrs. Peel, although Mrs. Peel came later. But the whole premise of The Avengers is that you have a professional agent teaming up with an amateur. Okay? And that's what you have in this case. Cary Grant is the amateur, right? Mm-hmm. And somebody else is the professional agent. That came out of Hitchcock. So now, The Avengers is a huge show. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. was a huge show, and it owed its existence to North by Northwest. Paradigm shift. Excellent. Well, I don't think there's any much doubt as to how we both feel about this movie. Yeah. But you go first. Go ahead. Ratings and recommendations.
Okay, I'm going to do recommendation first.
Okay.
I recommend this movie. No, I really do. This is a fantastic movie. It's Hitchcock at his best. It's Cary Grant at his best. It's movie telling at its best. Watch it. You will love it. I give it 5 grade Geeks.
Okay. Yeah, recommendation. I agree. Eva Marie Saint is lovely. At a certain point, you're thinking she's a femme fatale. Yeah. I loved her acting. She captured my heart, I'll tell you. So I recommend this movie highly. The shot selection is fantastic. The sets that they used, the locations that they shot at Mount Rushmore, is amazing what they did there. So I say 5 grade Geeks. Clearly, this is a superior movie. So it is, with great pleasure and respect, it is our great honor to induct this movie, North by Northwest, 1959, into the Mustache and the Beard's Classic Video Library as our movie number 17. Take a bow.
A little bit of trivia. Minor trivia. The hero in this movie is Cary Grant. The villain is James Mason. Both of them were offered the part of James Bond, and both of them turned it down.
Wow.
So, in effect, right, you have James Bond versus James Bond.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, it's now...
It's now or never.
Number 18 is Our Man Flint.
Our Man Flint.
1966, January of 1966. And that's important because the next movie we talk about will be February, 1 month later.
Which means that Our Man Flint was still in the theaters, right? It was right a month. Mm-hmm. So these two movies were in competition with each other.
All right, so Our Man Flint is an American spy-fi comedy. Spy-fi is how
Spy-fi
comedy film that parodies the James Bond film series. Mm-hmm. It's directed by Daniel Mann, written by Hal Finberg and Ben Starr, starring James Coburn as Master Spy and Superior Intellectual Derek Flint. Because he's a little bit of a douchebag in the beginning.
Oh, in the beginning?
The premise has a trio of mad scientists attempt to blackmail the countries of the world with a machine that controls the weather. And Flint is retired, and they beg him to come back to work. Flint's organization is called ZOWI. Zonal You knew it?
Zonal Organization World Intelligence Espionage.
Oh my God! How awkward is that? For an acronym, that is awkward as AF. Yeah. So yeah. But it's meant to be a parody of James Bond.
Right. Spectre. Mm-hmm.
And it
special executive for counter-espionage, terrorism, revenge, and extortion.
I know.
I mean, Ian Fleming, he started it. All those that have come since then, all those acronyms that have come since then, the Man from U.N.C.L.E. and Thunder Agents and all of those things that get laid at Ian Fleming's feet. S.H.I.E.L.D., Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they get laid at Ian Fleming's feet. He started it.
All right. So, classification is secret agent movie, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Longevity, 2021, takeaway 1966. It's 55 years. I'm 55 years old.
Wow, this movie came out when you were born.
Yeah. It's exceptional in a lot of ways. You want to get started?
Well, it's there were a lot of secret agent movies in the 60s. James Bond started an explosion, not only in movies but in TV shows. So there were a lot of secret agent movies, but very few met the quality of the James Bond.
Absolutely.
Okay, they were poor at best. They were poor relatives. Okay, except there were a few gems. One of those gems that shone brightest was Our Man Flint. Okay, it was exceptionally well done, well played, well made, and I think that's why it's lasted. And everybody, to this day, if somebody was to make a list of the top secret agent movies of all time, Our Man Flint is going to be on that list somewhere.
All right, it's a spoof, so you know certain parts are going to be ridiculous. All right, and because Flint is brilliant
in everything.
Yes, it's not like he's a brilliant chemist. No, he's brilliant in everything.
Everything. There is nothing that he cannot do.
All
nothing.
Right. In order to avoid detection in one of the scenes in the movie, he takes a towel from the bathroom and uses it to wrap it around his head as a turban.
Then there was some dust on the shelf, so he takes the dust and he makes his skin look darker.
A little darker.
He darkens himself. He reverses his suit,
his jacket.
Yeah. So, and he puts on sunglasses, and he comes out a new man. Instant master of disguise.
Yes, and he's supposed to meet 008 in.
So he meets 008. Who's 008? Sean Connery lookalike.
Yes.
A Sean Connery double. So he's trying to say, how you doing, 008? And how you doing, Flint?
And he says, throw me out the door.
Right, and then he says, they talk about who's behind all this. And he said, Spectre? They even mentioned
right.
Spectre.
He goes, no, it's bigger than Spectre.
It's bigger than Spectre.
So it's better than James Bond. Oh, so yes. It is exceptional in all of those ways. And I haven't even mentioned the women. Now, we're accustomed to a Bond girl, and, you know, in the Bond films, there are, like, at best, 3 gorgeous Bond women.
You might have a sacrificial lamb. You might have the bad girl. There might be a bad girl.
So in a Bond film, you have 3 gorgeous women. And Our Man Flint, you have dozens of gorgeous women.
Now, let me just say, Our Man Flint could not be made today.
No.
It cannot be made today. It is chauvinistic to the extreme. Okay? Flint has 4 women that work for him, right? Cook, valet, barber, you name it. Secretary, you know, he has 4 beautiful women that work for him, and he's sleeping with all 4. And then he takes them dancing, all 4. And they're perfectly all right. They're perfectly content with this situation.
Yes, you have not.
Yes. Listen, don't let it. It's 1966. Take it for what it is. Don't let that upset you. Go with the joke.
Yes,
If it's a joke, go with the joke. They're spoofing James Bond, and how do you spoof something? You take it to the next level.
Exactly. You go to the extreme.
You go to the extreme. So don't let it bother you.
All right. Can we go to Paradigm Shift now, or do you have anything more to say?
Well, I did want to mention the
Go ahead.
the fight scenes.
Yes.
The karate fight scenes. James Coburn was a student of Bruce Lee. He had 2 famous students, James Coburn and Steve McQueen. So there is an authenticity to
the movement,
to James Coburn's fight scenes, because he was the beginning when he was in his karate gi and he goes through the kata. Yeah, he did that at the Academy Awards that year on stage. Just wanted to say that.
All right. Well, good. Paradigm Shift now. It's highly successful parody that took advantage of James Bond's success. There was overt emulation.
Overt winking.
Yeah, right. The whole... It's bigger than Spectre. You know, and it being a Sean Connery lookalike.
Yes.
I mean, it's
008. Which they mentioned him 3 times in the movie.
Lee J. Cobb is great. Gila Golan is phenomenal.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay. And then the Lee J. Cobb comes with gadgets for him.
Right.
The Walther PPK and an attaché case with a knife.
Yeah, right out of From Russia with Love.
And he goes, I don't need that crap.
They're crude and ineffective. Then he opens the suitcase. This has 63 functions. He holds up his lighter. This has 81 different functions. 82 if you count lighting a cigar. And he flicks it.
So yes, there is an intentional poking fun at the genre, but in particular at James Bond movies.
Yes.
But there's a reverence there as well. It's not just making fun. It is also
Yes, because it's not Austin Powers.
No.
It's not Austin Powers. It is good natured. It is saying, you look like you're having a lot of fun, I want to get in on it.
Yeah.
It's that sort of thing.
All right. Is there anything else that you think for Paradigm Shift?
Well, it's the first of the Bond spoofs.
Okay.
He did get a lot of spoofs after this.
Right.
In 1967, we got Casino Royale, which was a huge James Bond spoof. But Our Man Flint is actually the first.
It is. And it took 4 years for them to, like, hey, you know, James Bond is doing pretty good.
Yeah. Let's get in on this.
All right. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right. So let's go to ratings and recommendations. I'm going to go first.
Yeah, go right ahead.
I recommend this movie. Again, take it for tongue in cheek. And although it's a little more serious than the one that comes that we're going to talk about next. All right. But I never enjoyed this one as much as I enjoy the next one. Mm-hmm. This is 4.5 Grey Geeks for me. Mm-hmm. So 4.5 Grey Geeks. I only take a half a point away because, again, I thought it was supposed to be a little more serious, and it is absolutely misogynistic as all get out. So apologies in the sense that, the whole genre is misogynistic.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah. So
especially in the 60s, it has gotten better, right? The secret agent genre has gotten
way better.
But in the 60s, yes, it was very misogynistic. But it was a misogynistic time.
All right, so I say 4.5 Grey Geeks. You should watch this because it's in our classic video library. What do you say?
I agree with you 100%. I highly recommend this movie, but you have to see it for the times. This is 1966. Okay, this is 1966 action. This is 1966 humor. It's 1966 cheesecake. You know, it's do not compare it to today. You're going to do the movie a disservice, and you're going to ruin your enjoyment. Your enjoyment. You know, look at it for what it is.
Be in on the joke.
Be in on the joke. And I also give it a 4.5 Grey Geeks. It just simply because although I love the movie and I love Flint, he is not as likable as James Bond, nor is he as likable as the next guy we're going to talk about. Okay, he's a little
know-it-all.
He could easily get on your nerves. He is the guy that you want to come rescue you, but you don't want to invite him to a barbecue.
Before we move on, it is with great pleasure and respect, it is our great honor to induct this movie, Our Man Flint, 1966, into the Mustache and the Beard's classic video library as our movie number 18.
Yay!
Take a bow. All right. So we kind of teased this one a little bit. All right. So number 19,
which is appropriate.
Number 19 is The Silencers, 1966. It came out in February of 1966, one month after Our Man Flint.
Yay!
Yeah. An American Pathicolor spy film spoof released in 1966 starring Dean Martin as Matt Helm.
Yay!
Based on the 1962 novel, The Silencers by Donald Hamilton, directed by Phil Carlson, produced by Irving Allen, co-stars Stella Stevens, Dahlia Lavi. Oh my God!
Oh my God! Yeah. I didn't know they made brown women so beautiful. Oh my God!
Yeah, and There's a lot of cleavage in this movie.
Oh my God!
This is a Columbia Pictures movie. Matt Helm is a retired secret agent, but he gets pulled back in again, just like our man Flynn.
For some reason, when it came to American secret agent movie, the hero always has to be tricked into going on the mission. For some reason, the British
do it for God and country.
Yeah, you know, they're an agent, they get an assignment, right? But somehow, if it's an American secret agent movie, that person has to be talked into it.
All right, so the person that talks him back in is James Gregory's character, McDonald. And then there's, I didn't mention yet, but Sid Charisse is Sarita. Dean Martin was not the first choice. Paul Newman was.
Can I go back and tell them?
Yeah.
Okay. The producer of the Bond movies is Cubby Broccoli. Was Cubby Broccoli? Is his children now? Cubby Broccoli was partners with Irving Allen in a production company called Warwick Films. Cubby Broccoli wanted to make the James Bond movies. Irving Allen did not. He thought he did not like James Bond. So they dissolved their partnership, right? So that Cubby Broccoli was free to do as he pleased. He struck a deal with United Artists to make a James Bond movie, but hadn't gotten the rights to the books. When he went looking to get the rights to the books, because he had that deal with United Artists, he discovered that Fleming had sold them to a producer by the name of Harry Saltzman. So Harry Saltzman had the rights to the books, but he didn't have a studio. He went to Columbia, and Columbia turned him down. So he had the books. Cubby Broccoli had the studio, so they decided to make a partnership. Ian Productions, you've seen them. And they made the James Bond movies, okay? Which means that Irving Allen had an opportunity, said no. Columbia Pictures had an opportunity, said no. What happens? They make Dr. No from Russia with Love, Goldfinger, monster hit, right? And so now Irving Allen is kicking himself because he could have been in on this, and Columbia is kicking themselves because they could have been in on it. So Irving Allen decides to make an American James Bond movie. He goes to the bookstore, looks at all the spy novels on the shelf, of which there are a lot. This is the 60s. And he noticed that the one that seemed to be doing the best, selling the most, were the Donald Hamilton, Matt Helm movies. So he gets a deal with Donald Hamilton, gets the rights to Matt Helm, right? Goes to Columbia. Columbia's like, yes, give us our own James Bond. And so he now had the money, he now had a studio, he now had a character, now he had a cast this character.
I know, and that's the Reader's Digest version of the story.
Yeah, because there's a lot more to it.
Yeah. Okay, so instead, since they couldn't get Paul Newman because he didn't want to compete against Sean Connery, they asked a slew of people that all turn him down until they get to Dean Martin, and Dean Martin is smart enough to say,
he's been around the corner a few times.
I'll produce it, I'll act in it, and if you let me produce it. And of course they said yes, but they decided to change the script into a comedy since he was so successful.
It's Dean Martin, because to play to Dean Martin's strength as a light comedian, right? They changed the script.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a serious movie. They decided, since we have Dean Martin,
we're going to make a comedy adventure.
And not only that, Dean Martin was smart enough to say, I want in on the soundtrack.
The singer.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is a good way for him to make money.
And you do realize, in case anybody out there doesn't know, Dean Martin is the reason why Sean Connery quit. Because although the James Bond movies made more money than the Matt Helm movies, Dean Martin, because he was being paid as a producer, made more money than Sean Connery. So Sean Connery asked Harry Saltzman and Cubby Broccoli to become a partner, and they turned him down. And they just kept offering him more money for each Bond movie. Eventually, he had enough, and he quit because of Dean Martin.
Yeah. I mean, Dean Martin was smart enough to say, hey, I want in on the producing, I want in on the music. I mean, because this is not a musical, but every time that there's mood needed,
it's him singing.
On a record, you know, It's just awesome. All right, so genre classification is a secret agent movie.
Right, definitely.
Loved it. Longevity is the same as the Our Man Flint.
Same year.
2021 to take away 1966. It's 55 years, so it fits into our criteria. And then exceptional.
Well, let me say this. Okay, another story. Cubby Broccoli and Irving Allen had already dissolved their friendship, but Cubby Broccoli hadn't moved out of their office, right? So he was using his office for his initial meetings with Harry Saltzman to discuss production on their James Bond movies. So they're sitting at Cubby Broccoli's desk discussing what they're going to do, while Irving Allen is sitting in the next desk listening to everything that they're saying. And they're talking about how they're going to do this, and how they want to do this, and how Cubby Broccoli said from the beginning, he's always said, every dime spent in this movie I wanted to show on the screen. No perks for the actors, no perks for the producers, none of that. If we spent $1 million, there's $1 million of quality on that screen. And Irving Allen listened to this. And he used all of that when he made his Madhouse movies. And that is why his Madhouse movies, although they don't look like a James Bond movie, the quality is the same as a James Bond movie. Every dime spent, you see it on the screen.
All right. I'm going to tell you a personal story. The beginning credits of this movie are so memorable because I was 10 years old when I first saw it.
The strippers. They went one beyond James Bond. James Bond, the credits of the movie gives you nude silhouettes. This one is strippers.
Yes, it's actual strippers. And at 10 years old, that moment where it is so transcendental for men occurred during that beginning sequence of strippers and the credits. So it's exceptional to me because it's a big moment. Yes, because it's a big moment. And so when we were talking about this, I said, "Oh, let's do this movie," because that was one of those movies that stays with you forever. There are, again, like in the other movie, dozens of gorgeous women in this movie.
Right.
Lovey craves it. His assistant.
His assistant.
All right, so our man Flynn has 4 assistants. He has 1, but they have a very intimate relationship.
Yes. It's interesting because it's like James Bond has Moneypenny, but that's the chief secretary. Matt Helm has his own secretary, and he don't have no problem betting her.
Yeah. Lovey craves it.
Lovey craves it.
All right, so it's
Beverly Adams.
It's funny. It's silly. I love the gadgets.
It's got more gadgets.
The button bomb is funny, you know, because it's buttons on his jacket. You know, you pull them and they're hand grenades. But the one that is the ongoing. The funny one that just continues to go through is that he's given a gun that he's supposed to make sure that the bad guy gets, you know. So
it's gold plated.
Yeah.
It's got filigree.
It's gorgeous. Yeah,
it's a gorgeous gun.
Yeah, except that in order to shoot it, you have to push the trigger instead of pull the trigger. Because if you pull the trigger, it shoots at you instead of going forward.
It shoots back. If you pull the trigger, it shoots back. If you want to shoot forward, you have to push the trigger.
So this is an ongoing gag through the movie. The bad guy is pointing the gun at Stella Stevens, and he's going to shoot her, and she's scared, and he shoots at her, and it hits him. And he's surprised. They're both surprised. Stella Stevens' character is like, what? And he's like, what? And he's hurt. But he insists on shooting again.
And he looks at her, and she's like, you know, I don't know what happened.
What did you do? What did you do?
And then it's like he can't believe it. So he pulls the trigger.
And he kills himself.
He kills himself.
So she grabs the gun, and she's running through, and then somebody says, halt, halt.
The guard.
And so she goes back, and she hands him the gun and starts running, and he shoots the gun, and he shoots himself. And then she goes and grabs the gun again, and another person stops her, and this time he goes, stop! And she goes, I will shoot myself. And she's pointing it in her cleavage.
Right. And he goes, no, don't do that.
And she goes, I must.
She pulls the trigger. Boom! She shoots the other.
Okay, so this movie is exceptionally funny. The gags are perfect.
Oh my God.
The actors are perfect.
The action's great.
Yes, it's fun. Yeah, definitely I love this movie. Alright, paradigm shift. Okay, this is the first movie to ever have a post-credits scene.
I did not know that.
Yes.
I did not know that.
The music is Vicky Carr lip-syncing, Sid Charisse lip-syncs Vicky Carr. And Dean Martin's songs are inspired. Also, the entire Matt Helm series inspired the Austin Powers series.
I got news for you. The entire Matt Helm series inspired the James Bond series.
No way!
Because the whole Roger Moore era is a rip-off of Matt Helm. When Roger Moore came on to play Bond, right, they shifted from the more serious that Sean Connery was doing.
That's right.
But I mean that they were lifting actual gags from the Matt Helm movies. In one Matt Helm movie, the bad guy had the henchman, the super strong henchman, has a steel plate in his head, and they get into a fight, and he hits him in the head, and bang, and he goes, oh, remind me never to do that again. Spy Who Loved Me, Jaws, James Bond hits him, bang, same thing. There's a scene in a Matt Helm movie where he's got cigarettes that shoot poison darts. Mm-hmm. So the guy gives him a light. The dart hits the guard, so he's able to escape. He throws the cigarette down. The camera focuses on it. Says the Surgeon General has determined that cigarette smoking is harmful to health. James Bond movie. James Bond's in a ambulance going up a hill. He gets into a fight. They fall out in the gurney. They fall out. He rolls over. The bad guy's in the gurney. It goes off a cliff into a sign for a cigarette sign, and the camera focuses and says the Surgeon General has determined that cigarette smoking is dangerous to them. They were lifting actual gags from the Matt Helm movie.
Awesome. All right, so
if that ain't a paradigm shift, I don't know what is.
Oh, it's clear. Mike Myers says that Austin Powers was inspired by Matt Helm.
Right, everybody thinks it's James Bond.
Right.
It's actually more Matt Helm.
Uh-huh. So, ratings and recommendations. I'm gonna go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think
This is your movie.
Yeah, this is. I love this movie. It is sillier than Our Man Flint. Okay,
Yes.
so it's more tongue in cheek or tongue planted firmer into your cheek. However,
the tongue is in the cheek and that biting. Huh?
however, the women.
Oh.
Stella Stevens impacted my moments of puberty that I can't even begin
She
to
never
tell.
looked better.
I love this movie, so high recommendation for me, not just from a perverted 10-year-old, but an adult man that still finds it extremely funny. The women are still beautiful. 5 Grey Geeks.
Okay. I love this movie. I love all the Matt Helm movies. I love the character. I cannot think of Matt Helm without cracking up. And every time I think of him, I will go looking for one of his movies to watch it. So I will watch these movies over and over and over again. And although I am capable of doing that with a lot of movies, actually not that many.
Mm-hmm.
I love this movie, Dahlia Lavi. Oh my God! As a young man, actually as a teenager, I was in love with Dahlia Lavi. Okay. Oh my God, she never looked better. So yes, please, yes. I'm a huge James Bond fan, but I'm as big a Matt Helm fan, and I give it 5 Grey Geeks. And I recommend it. Please go out and see this movie and laugh.
It is with great respect and pleasure. It is our great honor to induct this movie, The Silencers, 1966, into the Mustache and the Beard's Classic Video Library as our movie number 19. Take a bow. All right. So those are our last 3 movies that go into the Classic Video Library.
Yes, 3 secret agent movies.
So
And they all 3, they're very different. Mm-hmm. They're very different. But all recommended.
Yes. So, C.A.M.P.Y is Classic Archived Motion Picture Yearbook. This is number 5. And so we've come to the part in the program where we usually say goodbye.
Yeah.
So with that,
goodbye.
how about a wise missive, as we usually ask you for?
I have one for you.
Because, the great entitles him to, to be wise.
This entitles me to be a wise guy. I need to be wise.
A wise man.
Okay. And I want to make sure I got it right, so I wrote it down. To bring the world around you into harmony, you have to first find harmony within yourself.
With that having been said, if this is your first time taking a look at one of our videos, The Mustache and the Beard, we have enjoyed making this video.
Yes.
I invite you to subscribe and to share our video, so I call you to action. To help us grow this site, we've asked you to share these videos if you think it's worthy. We try to make you laugh while entertaining you and informing you. If something we've said has stirred you to make a comment, please comment. We enjoy hearing from our followers. Tell us what we got right. Tell us what you think we might have gotten wrong. Give us a like. As always, we thank you for watching. My name is Louis Matos. I am the Mustache.
I'm Junior Figueroa. I be the Beard.
We say, see you later.
Hasta la vista.
Take it easy.
And peace.